Hey everyone, Little Jai here, and well, as always, let's get it started. The following video may contain content unsuitable for younger audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. The disclaimer out of the way. Let's do the introduction to Salem, shall we? Not bad at all. In fact, I dare say it came out rather well. Good morning, Sensen. Having a late breakfast? Oh, what a wonderful smell. Is that a crepe? Morning, Mosh. No, this is a buckwheat galette. I heard we procured some lovely ham and found myself hooked up to spend some time with the chef. She's using ham, cheese, and soft-boiled egg. And is that zucchini? It looks delicious. Thank you. I often had galettes just like this when I was growing up in Paris. Since these French olives said, since growing up in Paris, they were originally a peasant dish from the Brittany region. It's even said they were served at the palace of King Louis XIV's mother, Anne of Austria. Ideally, I would have liked to pair it with hard cider, but oh right, exactly. You couldn't do that because we've run out, right? Apparently, someone broke into the kitchen and stole most of our alcohol. Really? Was that a thief? I think so, since a number of rooms also experienced inexplicable blackouts around the same time. That's why I'm on the case right now. Holmes has been preoccupied with something in the hangar lately, so it's up to me to be the detective this time. I see. In that case, I'll gladly offer my assistance. Ever since the search for the 7 Holy Grails came to an end, what has brought me to the greatest joy is the drastic improvements made to Chaldea's pantry. It's thanks to them that servers like us can enjoy seasonal delicacies and flavors from around the world. I am so grateful to be able to experience so many wonderful tastes, but ashamed to learn that there is a thief among us here in Chaldea. Me too. Since Chaldea is still responsible for preserving humanity, managing our food stockpiles is important. Well said. My head. I feel sick. Good morning, Robin. You seem a bit under the weather. Oh, morning, Mosh. Don't mind me. I can smell the alcohol from here. Robin? He's clearly hungover. He must have drunk an immense amount to be defective despite being a servant. Fortunately, this works out well. Here, Robin, drink up this onion soup. It'll get you hydrated and replenish some of the salt you've lost. If that doesn't cure your hangover, drink a glass of water with some baking soda to reduce your acidity in your stomach. That works. No thanks, I'm not drinking that. I've smelled rotting animals that weren't so rank. There aren't even any medicinal herbs in it. I mean, it's not like you're a witch or an alchemist or... My head. I knew it, you're still in bad shape. What help could you be if there was an emergency, right? Wouldn't you please reconsider taking Sansan's advice and having the soup? Also, I'd appreciate if you could tell me what happened last night. And please, don't skip all the details. Last night? Okay, if that's what you want. I couldn't care less what Dr. Frenchie says, but I can't say no to you. Still, there's not much to tell. I just kind of ended up getting roped into a little drinking party the authors were having. Sometimes it's nice to just cut loose and drink like there's no tomorrow. Consequences be damned, you know? Hold on. Authors? Hold on. So you said authors. Does that mean Shakespeare? Anderson? Anyway, the last thing I remember is Amadeus crashing the party and drinking the rest of the booze after that, it's all a blank. Ah, Amadeus, I swear the man's a bottomless pit where alcohol is concerned. He always shows up unannounced at parties, drains the wine cellar if it were his own, doesn't even pay a single écu to boot. Robin, are you perhaps sent to raid the kitchen? Were you perhaps sent to raid the kitchen last night as an errand boy of sorts? Now to mention it, I think something like that might have happened. I see. I'm glad I'm making progress. I knew I could handle a small case like this. Let us go home for help. At any rate, it seems clear that you are all getting plastered on Chaldea's reserves. Indeed, what a sorry sight. Yeah, not all of us were brought up with luxuries of using proper knives and forks for our dainty little breakfast, unlike some nobles I know. I'm not a noble. Oh, is that so? Maybe you're not, but you're exactly one of us commoners. But you aren't exactly one of us commoners either, are you? What's going on with Robert? Does he have some sort of problem with Sansa? An alarm. What was that tablet you're saying, Ash? Let me see. The Type 3 alert. An abnormality has been spotted somewhere far away. I'll head for the command room. Can you turn it down? It sounds the last thing to do with this headache. Robin, you need to take care of your hangover before you do anything else. Agreed. And if you do that, I shall take you to see the chef. Got it. Take care, Mosh. Don't push Chef too hard now. Looks like things have finally calmed down. Guess they've got a handle on the situation now. Oh well, it ain't any of my business. I'm A-OK steering clear of the limelight. All those hot-blooded hero types can handle demon schemes and threats they manage just fine without me. This suit really does hit the spot. I'm here. What's the situation? Morning, Mosh. Good morning, Senpai. I'm sorry I'm late. Buongiorno, Mosh. I knew I'd see you here. You are always so very diligent. And hello to you, one of my newest servants. Alright, here's all the information we've got so far. First of all, you know that the alarm originated in North America? We're detecting an incredible magic layer signature, but the threat level is fairly low. At least for now. At the moment, we're sending a fleet of investigative drones to collect more intel and communicating with the local authorities. We're also coordinating with the North American branch of the Mage Association since Chaldeas didn't observe the problem, this phenomenon. However, there aren't many association agents in North America, so I doubt they'll be of much help. Where exactly in North America is this coming from? If you'll direct your attention to the screen, right here. This image was just taken by one of our stationary satellites. The United States East Coast, specifically an area north of Boston, Massachusetts. To think of it, it's still in the middle of the night over there, isn't it? Even so, it's so dark that you don't see a hint of light anywhere. It looks more like a crater than anything. That's right, it's pitch black, complete and total darkness. We can't detect so much as a hint of artificial light within a perfectly circular 7-kilometer radius. This is no blackout or freak weather. Matrix is the only explanation for something like this. Naturally, since it's covered in such total darkness, we won't have any other visual data. Do we know that's in the middle of this darkness? Do we know what's in the middle of this darkness? As I recall, there was a port town here at this inlet. I think its name was Salem. It's a cursed name, both for the white man and for us. Geronimo! My presence was requested, so I have come. Are you sure I can be of use to Vinci? My tribe knows little of the sea after all. Well, of course, since you're like the inland area, mostly the inland areas of the United States. I'm sure, Geronimo. In fact, you're the perfect warrior for the job. Really? Proud members of your tribe have been attuned to the land's voice since ancient times, so we can really use your wisdom right now. Yeah, I guess so. I see. The situation has become so dire that you're making a formal request for my help. Very well. I'll be of assistance however I can. What about the people inside the darkness? Are they alright? At the moment, we have no way of knowing. So far, the U.S. Army's reconnaissance drones haven't picked up any sign of the local populace, or even any radio transmissions. Simply put, 50,000 people who just finished their perfectly ordinary day have inexplicably disappeared. I can only imagine what the White House advisors are going through right now in the run-up to the inevitable press conference. That's terrible. Could this be a demon god pillar? You mean one of the demon god pillars that escaped when Gethia was destroyed? Yes, Solari, this is almost certainly the work of a demon god pillar. That said, the extent to which it seems not to be making an effort to conceal the insidious nature of this anomaly concerns me. Any other abnormalities we've dealt with over the past several months, like Shinjuku and Agartha. Hold on. Sorry, a little wetness in my eyes. The culprits try to keep their identities a secret. On top of that, both those things occurred in the past. Hell, in Agartha's case, it was so thoroughly hidden that it was literally miles into the ground. That is not the case here. It's taking place right now, and it's so obvious that even the U.S. government knows about it. Neither of the other demon god players attempted to something like this, and that is truly worrying. Still, at least the singularity is on a much smaller scale. It reminds me of Fuyuki and how it's only covering a single town. Smaller scale, only in comparison to what we have seen so far, you mean. But even now, I can see this tragedy unfolding before my eyes. I pray that the dawning sun will chase away the curtain of darkness that has befallen this land. So what would you now, Da Vinci? And you, my friend? We have to go to Salem, right now. Right, Senpai. I'm afraid I disagree. The time is not yet right. But there are people in clear and present danger. 50,000 of them, no less. We do not know for sure that it's not a trap. It's possible that we may end up glad that only tens of thousands of people have lost their lives there. We are still very much in the dark ourselves. All we know for certain is what Da Vinci said. Never before have we seen such a bold approach as this. I sense that the demon god lying in wait in this darkness is more cautious and villainous than any we have faced. Da Vinci, have there been any updates in the investigation? Any further details come to light? Yes, there have been a few more updates, but I won't get your hopes up. When the darkness first appeared, it quickly expanded to its current radius in just a few seconds before its progress suddenly stopped. Since then, it's remained completely static, at least from the outside. Mages from the association have sent in familiars, but we've lost contact with each and every one of them. Land, sea, low-flying air, no matter how the family has attempted to infiltrate the darkness, not a single one of them is reported back. On top of that, the directors of Boston's Holy Church have been quite quiet about this either. This unidentified phenomenon precludes the use of spiritual evocations, sacrifices, runes, summoning circles, an anti-fortress, and anti-armored noble phantasm in the areas surrounding Salem. These areas include parts of Beverly, Peabody, Danvers, Marblehead, Swampscott, and Lynn. We regret to report that we have not discovered any evidence of magical involvement, nor can we completely rule out in regards to the situation. All it means is this phenomenon has taken the church completely by surprise. So it's safe to conclude that none of the persons of interest they've been keeping an eye on have gone near Salem either. You can tell this was a real bitter pill for them to swallow, especially given how proud they were. It's a bit of a surprise for them to throw up their hands in bafflement like this. Though it's not to say that they are lost for words. One of them went on to add, were I to venture to my personal opinion, I might say that it seems that the very hand of God himself has laid waste to the earth. Can you believe that? Sure doesn't sound like something a man of the cloth should go on around saying, if you ask me. Well, it would appear to be a different God than the one their faith sees as the one true God. I've heard rumors about Chaldea staff being stationed around the world for some time now, but I had no idea they were also working at Mage Association branches and the whole church. Of course they are. They're covert agents we planted to one site to blend into their respective areas. The Chaldea Security Organization hasn't just been sitting around twiddling their thumbs waiting for these stray demon gods to reappear, you know. These ages just part of our overall effort, though I have to admit that it hasn't been easy finding people with no familial or community less ties to get to come to work for us. Rowan always excelled in hiring the right kind of people. He did leave behind a manual detailing his procedures, but it's just not the same. Still, it definitely helped. Once to know where to look, it was just a matter of balancing the budget. I recruited maids, demonology experts, and exorcists, and stationed in cities of interest. And Bosch just so happened to be one of them. The other North American aides should all be gathered there by now. At this point, we're just still running recon. Since we're not on site ourselves, the best thing we can do right now is gather as much information as we can and figure out our next move. So we wait for news from people we trust. That's right. At times like this, there's nothing wrong with depending on others for help. You've really grown, Solaria. Trying to handle everything yourself is the height of arrogance. It can lead you to terrible mistakes. In the end, you're left with nothing but grief. I'm relieved to see that self-sacrifice isn't your answer to everything anymore. Still, isn't there anything we can do? Of course, plenty in fact. Now that the alert level has been raised, we're getting reports from all over the world. Somebody has to determine if they're authentic and whether they're related to what's happening in Salem. I'd like you to handle that, Mosh. Understood. Now, I think it's about time we pulled in a certain great detective to help us out. His work on the hangar should probably have gotten boring to him by now, so he'll probably be in this room, or just wander around Chaldea. So, would you mind speaking with Holmes yourself? Of course, I doubt you'll have much luck when he barely even pays attention to what Watson has to say. I see. Don't worry, we'll handle that too. I'll drag him in here by force if I have to, just like Mrs. Hudson. Besides, Da Vinci, have you been cooped up in here since last night? You noticed, did you? You're right, I was actually in the middle of testing a certain summon when the alarm sounded. Just between us, the timing couldn't have been worse. Even geniuses like me can make mistakes. For a moment, I was afraid I might unwittingly cause the second huge Chaldea explosion. Not funny. Well, you can't blame me. Not after Chaldea's main power and backup power looked like they were about to get knocked out. I see. Another piece of the puzzle in my investigation falls into place. Wait, backup? That sounds really important. Thanks in advance for all your help, Mosh. You too, Geronimo. As for you, Solaria, I want you to be ready for anything like a good master. I agree, Senpai. Please let us handle this for now. I may no longer be able to fight on the front lines, but in return, I'll do everything I can to support you from back here. That's the sort of Kohai I aspire to be. And she's the best Kohai. Forget BB, she's the best Kohai. Who the fuck was that? Thanks for waiting, everyone. We're nearly ready to begin this operation now. What's more, this will almost certainly end up being a final ray shift. The final ray shift? Okay, Edison. Why does she look so worried? Why is that? Because we now know that this is the very last demon god battle, the last singular to be observed on Earth. We may not have been able to determine where the demon god that was escaped from the Temple of Time had hidden themselves, but we were able to find the distortions in space-time they create wherever they want. Not that we could have done them without Chaldea's, of course. That's readings that are telling us this will be the last. The Mages Association and the UN have jointly decided to halt that ray shift, to halt all ray shift operations following this pseudo-spiritron transfer. After this, barring authorization from the new director being appointed in December, we won't be able to ray shift anymore no matter what. That's disappointing here, but does make sense. We shouldn't be ray shifting after humanity has stabilized anyway, since it does involve time travel. Exactly, which is why the ray shift technology was sealed away once we've dealt with this final instability. has now been 72 hours since this large-scale disappearance occurred on the east coast of North America, with Salem at center. Let me start by telling you that we've learned it directly from our town own investigation and information gathering. First off, we decided to call the darkness, the spring up to nowhere, to call Salem the Mist. Given how it absorbs all visible light and other forms of electromagnetic waves, and doesn't obey any laws of physics, we are certain that it's an instance of magecraft. Its scale remains unchanged since its first appearance, as I mentioned earlier, a near perfect circle with a radius of 7 kilometers. We also now know that the mist extends upwards at an average of altitude of 600 meters. It's easy to enter this area, but so far, nothing has done so as made it back out. Every one of the unmanned vehicles, unmanned surveillance units, drones, and closed-circuit robots sent in by the U.S. Army has been swallowed by the dark. Now that, or they simply ceased functioning the moment they got too close. They've also tried using helicopters. I'm told they're called Apaches to lower in sensors, but all of these ended up being destroyed as well. So not even a single drone made it back? I'm afraid not. Each and every one ended up broken and inoperable. A number of journalists snuck past the Army's blockade and went to the mist cells, but there's no sign that any of them returned. The same is true of trained animals that were sent in for reconnaissance. Poor things. Nor have we been able to confirm any birds of other wild animals either coming from or going into the mist. Curses. That has become a completely barren wasteland, a barbaric land of darkness that does not suffer even a single watt to pass. We next tried to fight magecraft with Magecraft by bringing our own mages. They sent in familiars protected by magical barriers, cyber demons, automata, and more. Unfortunately, despite local staff's best efforts, those ended in failure too. All considering it's Salem and Magecraft back then was, bad. Considered bad, yeah. But as of last night, we recently reported that a single attempt was successful, returned with valuable new information. Could you now just lead with that and spare us all extra nonsense? I mean, what does the U.S. Army's troubles really matter to us? How dare you! I have no respect for their sense of duty. I see I just completely shot thanks to having to write a manuscript on such short notice. Just look at these bags under my eyes. Now, my friend, I understand how you feel. But let us not make molehills into mountains. The important thing is that our work here is now done. Our duty is passed like a ship in the night. You there, leave that alone. We need it for dealing with missed properties and to prepare our future countermeasures. It's especially important that you understand this part, Solaria. Why were you two writing a manuscript? Oh, that? We poor feebles were set by a storm last night. But I believe our attention would be better spent on the matter at hand. The only thing that made it back was a single mechanical doll. It was really designed to be a clock before a puppet master mage. It was originally designed to be a clock before a puppet master mage, disguised as a clockmaker, repurposed it. It's made out of oak gears, cast iron nails, and baleen, robot created without any modern technology whatsoever. This medieval robot managed to bring back sketches of what things are like inside the mist, automatically transcribing what it saw, how its crystal pupils. Take a look at these. I see. Yes, this is definitely Salem. A peaceful run-of-the-mill village whose pious residents live their lives with integrity. However, it's not modern-day Salem. These sketches clearly show it looked centuries ago. Right, we cross-referenced the records and found that they were identical to Salem in the late 17th century. Basically, the world within the darkness is the 17th century Salem, as was in colonial times. I see. That would mean it's still British territory then. No wonder the U.S. Army was so completely useless. Be quiet! This cowardly invasion cannot stand. What about the 50,000 people who live there now? Remember, this is not the first time this land has been invaded. As we've established, the recorded observations are of Salem in the 17th century. The only way the world can make its observations in the past has been fully recreated, or some mannered major craft is displacing the area itself. It's fascinating to ponder, but the effect it could be on humanity is immeasurable. This is almost certainly the work of a demon god below, still planning to incinerate humanity. Demon god below, that reminds me. Geronimo. Earlier you said that the name Salem is cursed. What do you mean by that? It's all in the past now. It belongs to history. Do you want to tell you the story, Mr. Edison? By all means, though I may wish it weren't so, this remains a part of our nation's history. Very well then. Towson and its neighboring lands were home to 3 tragedies. The first was plague. When the white man came to our shores, he brought with him an epidemic that nearly wiped out the Massachusetts tribe living in Boston Harbor. The second was war, albeit this war was more of a massacre. The Wampanoag tribe members that managed to survive the plague put up a valiant fight. By the end, their chief's skull still became an ornament for the white man's village. Never mind that the white man only survived the cruel winter thanks to the resources the Wampanoag left behind. In a stroke of truly better irony, the state would go on to be renamed after the Massachusetts tribe and these events were celebrated as a national holiday. Finally, the third tragedy that took place in Salem was the witch trials. This time, the white man went around killing its own kind. Featuring the devil's influence, they hung many innocent people. I trust you now see why I call it a cursed land. I do. Wait, trials? I thought the term was witch hunt. No, he speaks the truth. 'Twas witch trials that took place there. That said, these are but a partial account of the quarters we know today. They were not but a pretense for the villagers to indulge their worst impulses. These were trials in name alone, no more than an excuse for the church to exercise its power. The weak and unwanted were stoned to death. Even the densest of fools could see these trials for what they were. By the time matters had progressed to barbaric witch hunts, the wickedness and corruption had spread so far and taken such deep root that money changed hands, unencumbered by virtue or concern for justice. Fire burning cauldron bubble. They are all merely characters who only have ever appeared in works of fiction. I may have made use of them myself in my own stories, but I have never once encountered a genuine article. Ooh, she's not mad. She's pissed. Furthermore, those who claim these fictional beings are real in order to serve their own selfish ends are simply in denial of that delusion. In my own time as well, people sense the truth through skin and scent. Even if they did rarely put pen to paper to express what they truly thought. That there is indeed a collective conscience that fears witches and their curses. Now that some time has passed since then, I wonder what things are like in the modern day. I believe that is less relevant than one might think. I have no interest in determining where in history the late 17th century Salem should fall. Nevertheless, it is abundantly clear that piety was not the only thing that the Puritans brought to the New World. Those who loathe sin, who judge sinners by their own hands, are inevitably the sort who wish to engage in sin themselves. Such people will always exist. No matter the day and age, it is a fundamental aspect of the criminal mind. So, what then is a witch? A criminal? A victim? The answer to that question has changed as people's beliefs have shifted over time. As one who understands the mysterious and the mystic, and rejects the guidance of an unknowable God, I will say the witch trials were exactly what their name suggests, a lawful process to use to pass judgment on so-called witches. An attempt to manage the frenzied panic of a witch hunt in a stylish, civilized manner. Of course, offering madness in a seat at the dinner table after it comes barging in unannounced does nothing to change its inherent nature. Thus, the persecution of witches continued unabated in the West until it culminated in its final chapter in the New World. Ironically, in Salem, a land steeped in pious faith, it was where the devil truly ran free, where reason, desire, scientific spirit, and occult mindsets came together. Enough! Put the violin away. What possibly could it be here? If you just want to hear yourself talk, then go to your room where you won't bother anyone. Oh, was that a bit long-winded? And here I thought I was being considered by drawing the listener in with generous amounts of exposition. Ahem. I think that's enough witch trial talk for now. For my part, over the last few days, I've been investigating whether there might have been any changes in the past events. I've been checking the repaired foundations over and over for signs of instability. I haven't overlooked anything, and yet something's still going on. There's something about this thing there that's unlike any we've seen so far. Some small distortion that threatens the very rules of our world. The data is indeed accurate. In this case, it is undeniably clear for all to see. Which would mean the culprit is closer to a god than a human, a demon god to be precise. It is certainly no surprise that demon god pillar would act veiled in secrecy. But even as mysterious acts like this are bound by incontrovertible rules. However, these rules cannot be tested from the outside. To do so, one must venture inwards, to get, as they say, up close and personal. Holmes is right. If we can't get information that makes sense from the outside, then we have to investigate from the inside. As Solari, as Kale's acting director, I am formally requesting that you be the one to enter the mist. I want you to investigate whatever is possible, rescue as many people as you can, find the demon god pillar, and destroy it. Yes, ma'am. You're up, Mash. Right. In this bounded field, we've conducted a number of tests in our analysis of the one automata that successfully returned, and learned that the mist eliminated everything made with post-17th century technology. That's why the cutting-edge drones that were sent in ceased to function. What's inside the mist? Well, as the acting commander said earlier, there do appear to be humans inside. What's more, we believe they are leading their normal lives despite their confinement. Normal lives? Then the people who live there are all right. Wait a moment. Would they be panicked out of their minds? I know I would. I'm afraid unfortunately, we just know whether those people are safe. We haven't gathered enough information yet. As you saw from the sketches, the air inside the mist has changed completely. It appears to be recreating Salem and the way its people lived their lives in the late 17th century. Whatever the reason for that may be, that's where we need to begin. Wow, of course you figured all that out so quickly. This was information that we got from Near Fortune Observation Lens Sheba. Incredibly detailed information, too. Especially given that it was observing something in present-day space-time. Usually she wasn't much help at all, so the whole staff was puzzled by where we are of the visit to use it here. I'm sure there's a good explanation for it, but since we don't have the time to figure it out right now, I'm just going to chalk it up to an unexpected stroke of good luck. Indeed, truth is an act of providence. God has clearly seen fit to bless us in this dire time. Now we should hurry and find a way through that field, whatever it takes. I agree. This is why Holmes and I put our heads together and came with a possible strategy. A ray shift that results in the same era, This way we can find you straight to the heart of Salem without moving you across time. However, there are two major conditions involved with this plan that I need you to understand. Solaria. As I explained earlier, we get one round-trip grade shift, period. What's more, the number of people we can shift is severely limited. The Associates already forced us to shut down the reactor in Caldea's basement, so we only have enough remaining magical energy for one last large-scale round trip. But there are exceptions to every rule, eh? Just goes to show you can't cross a bridge until you come to it. We're not operating independently anymore. We can't afford to be optimistic anymore, even pessimistic. As for the second condition, you'll need to dress for this occasion so that you don't stand out late 17th century Salem. Think of it as officially sanctioned cosplay. It may sound silly, but we believe it will be essential to letting you move around in Salem unimpeded. Sounds great to me. I'll go first then. You can't. Why not? Bill, tell them. Indeed. Once we learned all this, Lady Vici asked us to come up with a scenario for infiltrating the area. I nearly fainted when I first saw first thought she was thinking of me to sneak in. So you can imagine my relief to know this is not the case. You know you don't have to share every thought that comes to you with that sort of head of yours, don't you? After all, we servants are but a band of fools and eccentrics. As such, we are well suited to be actors. Thus, in this scenario, you will visit Salem as a part of a trial group of performers, a troupe, if you will. What a joke. The great William Shakespeare reduced to writing a script for a glorified circus act. I knew even before I pulled the paper that, taking into account the inexperienced actors and the uptight audience, there was no way the script would be suitable. Ha ha ha. Now, Anderson. There is nothing more delightful in a story than a surprising and well-conceived twist. In this case, we hardly need world-class talent. Of course, they will need to be able to perform in some fashion, or the whole play will be for naught. But a troupe is, by definition, a place where those who are otherwise unable to earn a living drift together, which makes it perfect for camouflage. Wait, hold up. You mean we're going to performing? Is there a problem with that? I think it's a pretty clear idea myself. As for which stars will actually be joining this troupe, I had to choose them myself. Taking Bill's opinion into account, of course. Let me tell you, it was a terrible headache coming up with a scenario that fit these ranking features. Still, that's not to say that it wasn't fulfilling. Go ahead and knock yourselves out with this manuscript. Just make sure you're paying full and upfront. Still then, Shakespeare Anderson will join this mission. What about you, Geronimo? I'm sure Senpai will be greatly relieved to have you along. I'm sorry, Mosh, but I can't do that. I wasn't cast in this operation either. No doubt they thought my inclusion would lead to unforeseen difficulties, even as a member of a troupe. I like nothing more than to help, but not if it means putting my friend in danger. Oh, I see. On the flip side of that, what's gone into you, Medea? You loathe this idea from the moment you heard it. You said you even refused if we used a command spell. Does the fact you've been standing around without making a peep mean you still haven't made a decision? Well, I guess I'm still thinking about it. You want to send Medea to Salem? Are you serious? If she's just going to pretend to be a troop member, that's far too dangerous. After all, Medea really is up. Exactly. Regardless of Medea's extenuating circumstances, sending a real witch to face a famous Sending a real witch to a place famous for witch hunts is the height of folly. Boring, dull, dim-witted. The civics have no better response from a lion. Quite. There's not a hint of humor or adventure to be found in it. Indeed, I couldn't have said it better myself. Ha! Go ahead and laugh if you want. I'm used to being ridiculed by selfish so-called geniuses. But this is not a time nor the place to be discussing humor, or fashion, or patents. There are American citizens who have been swallowed up by this darkness. Their very lives are at stake. If you want to be funny, then save it for the movies. I understand you're patriotic, Edison. You're very patriotic, Edison. But I'm afraid things just aren't that simple. This may be the modern day, but we're dealing with a world from the past in a town of witch hunts where external support just isn't an option. Common sense alone won't get us through this. We need a specialist experience. That's why we're counting on Medea to serve in an advisory role. If a demon god is behind this, then it's going to be an extremely difficult mission. And there's no one better suited to the fine line between superstition and magecraft than her. Of course, we really didn't expect this request to upset her like this has. So if she changed her mind after sleeping on it, then all's well that ends well. But settle down, there's no problem here. No, wait, let me try that again. There's no need to make a fuss over things that haven't come to pass, Mosh. I swear by Hecate that I won't let any harm befall Master. What's this? Are you feeling a bit off today or something? I was just in a bad mood last night. Anyway, it's up to Master to make the final call. Am I wrong, little rider? It's getting chills. There's something seriously wrong with her. What about you, Mosh? Are you coming along too? I can't. I was never part of the cast to begin with, so. Anyway, now that you're all caught up, I'm going to go ahead and begin the race ship preparations. In the meantime, I want you to brief everyone we chose to accompany you. Remember, you don't have a lot of time before you need to leave. I especially want you to keep in mind that this is our one and only chance to race shift. So, who all's coming? Why did they show the Chaldea over there? Oh. Hi, Mosh. Hello, Senpai. Did you already finish your briefing? Me? Don't worry, I'm fine. I've been working pretty hard these past few days, but I'm feeling better now. Now that I've had a bit of a break. Compared to what you and everyone else is about to head to Salem must be going through. I'm sorry. You're right. Looking back now, I have been a bit discouraged. It goes without saying at this point that I'm not a combatant anymore. I'm Da Vinci's assistant and a semi-circle engineer. Having an ordinary Chaldea staff member like myself go to somewhere like Salem would only put me and everyone else in danger. I just wish there was somewhere I could be useful. Useful. That's it. Mosh? I'm sorry, Senpai. I just remembered something urgent I have to do. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to prepare right away. See you later. Now, that was some impressive Kohai power. Man, this is taking a long time. Okay, it looks like everyone's all set. We'll be sending a party of 6 into Salem, including Solaria. Once again, do not let your guard down after making your way past the bounded field. Make sure not to say or do anything that would give away the fact that you aren't rulers of the 17th century. Alright, initiating race shift sequence. Wait! Please take me with you to Salem. Well now, that's a pretty last-minute request, but I've already filled in all the roles we need. There aren't any other... Yes, there is. I've heard that shows like this have a prompter who works behind the scenes to feed their performers their lines. In fact, in that case, I believe Senpai will need a dependable Kohai to be your secretary. Don't worry about the scripts. I've already learned them all by heart. I dare say you won't find a better prompter than me on such short notice anywhere. So once again, I request to accompany the rest of the troop. Of course, I'm sure I can be useful as an on-site Chaldea staff member as well. I second that request. You memorized our entire script? Well, I'm impressed. I certainly can't argue with that. What do you think, Mr. Showbiz? Does your script need a bit of support? My script is nothing less than perfection itself. However, even a perfect script means a little without actors to bring it to life. A prompt to feed the performers on stage their lines, you say? Such a role could well be crucial to ensuring the success of a performance put on by an amateur cast. Above all, I cannot help but commend her for memorizing the entire script. As such, I'm more than happy to support Masha's request. Besides, if she cannot perform convincingly, there is certain to come under suspicion. To be honest, I think this would be a great help. What do you think, Geronimo? I'm afraid I can't concur. Having a young girl come in a troupe, the performance is bound to invite misunderstandings. It would be dangerous, even without the threat of combat. But I will say that Mosh seems would have taken all of that into consideration. In which case, I believe this is Master's decision to make. What do I say she's the troop leader's little sister? Little? If anything, I believe Mosh would be more convincing as your older sister. I'll warn you now, Solaria. Such a pretense would only invite further suspicion. He plainly by his older sister? I can see you're soundless. All the other party members don't appear. And the other parties members have any objections? As far as okay with it, I have no real basis to refuse Masha's request. But let me give you this warning. Integrity won't keep you safe in a world of abnormalities. Sometimes you'll need to be a straight-up sophist or to look the other way. At a time like that, you need to weigh your own principles against the mission's success. Understood. I'll keep that in mind. I'm counting you, Solaria. Good luck. To Salem! Alrighty then. In that case, I hereby issue the Remnant Order's final command. Master Solaria will arrive at the Salem Singularity at the current time. Make sure you make full use of all your experience to date and see to it that you come back safely from this especially exceptional mission. And here we go! Excellent. Looks good with the race shift. Okay, let's get back to our morning duties. All servants remain on standby until further notice. Do you think it was a good idea to let her go along? I knew that Bash would want to go. You were the one who was most against Da Vinci. I'd nearly been accused of being a witch myself. Oh, not in the broom flying, one-wielding people curling sense so much as being thought of as a heretic. Some of the claim that the autopsies I did for research were evil rituals. I'm sorry to say that back then, I didn't handle it very bravely. Instead of standing up for what I believed in, I found myself at a loss for words. I turned my back on the truth and had to lie about who I really was. Over time, that kind of pressure starts to eat away at you like poison. It's like poison more than anything else. I saw that Mosh was a little young to go through that kind of torture. Don't be silly. Those who have all seen nearly every side of humanity by now. The evidence of the witch trials should put a nice bow on the whole thing. Besides, the very notion of sending a troop performers into a Puritan village was utter lunacy from its genesis. Indeed, fighting fire with fire, as they say. Huh? Where's all the others? Did they already leave? What are you still doing here? What's going on? Is there a problem with the race shift? Oh, we seem to have gotten our twist rather early in the story. How delightful. How is this delightful? This is terrible. Is there no way we can contact them? I've been knocked out this whole time. That wasn't me who went along. That was someone pretending to be me, using magic as a disguise. Doing someone capable of outwitting a witch. This is bad. If you're here, Who's the Medea we sent to Salem? Uh-oh. Pseudo-Singularity 4. Humanity Foundation value unknown. 1692. The Affirmative Advent Children Garden, Salem. Okay, so we're in the forest, quiet forest. So that's gonna be the next. Yeah, that's gonna be the next one. We got Rider. We got appear to be Rider. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that. Until next time, this is Lol Jason. Thank you all for watching. This will probably continue on maybe towards the end or maybe at the end of Shimousa. See you in the next Shimousa video. Later.